Alright, and we're back. So, looks like we've got puzzle here. And I don't know about you, but the fact that we have a necklace and it has these symbols which matches the things on the box makes it seem like a correlation to me. Let's see, this is supposed to be... Oh... Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is basically the first real puzzle of the game. And a big thing for me is I take forever solving puzzles. I love puzzle games. I take forever to solve them. So I'm going to do everyone a favor for sanity's sake and skip to when I solve puzzles, because otherwise these videos will be like 3 hours long. So, yeah. Next time you see me, I will have solved this puzzle. Okay, and we're back. So, let's click this button and see what's in the box.
Prague, 1929. 2 years had passed since the strange case in Paris. I figured I'd best leave town and come here. Quieter, or so I thought. The case in Paris had stirred my passion for PI work again. I had to let go of my dream of being an artist. It wasn't bringing in as much dough as being a private dick. In all, there were 5 dead and 2 unaccounted for. So far, all the victims were prostitutes. I didn't know if I would take the case. To my surprise, this cop Skalnik had no beef about me snooping around his crime scene.
Huh. Well, this is interesting.
It's very nice of you to let me have a peek. I'm Gustav McPherson. I'm a...
Yes, a private detective. I'm familiar with your work, Mr. McPherson.
I had no idea I was so popular.
I've read about your case in Paris, and the one in London. I'm Inspector Skalnik of the Prague Police.
Oh... I see what's happening. Okay, here's what's going on. For those that don't know, technically Still Life is actually a sequel, kinda sorta, to a game called Postmortem. Gustav was the main character of Postmortem. I played Postmortem, I played it for like an hour, mainly because it was bugged, because it's an older game, so it's hard to run on newer systems. So yeah, okay. Well, looks like our grandfather was the main character of Postmortem. That's interesting.
Is this the 5th victim?
Yes, she is officially. Supposedly, there are 2 missing.
Supposedly?
Yes, well, you know these women. They come and go, often without telling anyone. And then they show up again like they never left. So I don't bother with disappearances.
Well, aren't you a fantastic police officer? Though, to be fair, this is in 1929, that would have been the general consensus. That's the main reason why Jack the Ripper, no one really cared.
So you only bother when they turn up like this?
I see. We have a knight in shining armor. If you want my advice, Mr. McPherson, you'd best return to the usual missing person cases or husband cheating mysteries. This is a waste of your time.
I think you've just convinced me to take the case.
Really, Mr. McPherson? The press will not even cover this story. No one wants to know about dead prostitutes. If they do write about it, it will be about the killer and the number of bodies and not the actual victims. The pimps care even less. They force their women to work even if there is a killer loose. No one wants to sit at a dinner table and talk about this. There is no glory in this case. Like I said, you should stick with what you know.
In other words, he does not want me interfering. I can understand that. I'm a private dick and he's a cop and he just doesn't want to deal with this.
Do you mind if I ask you a few more questions?
Not at all.
Were all the victims prostitutes?
Yes,
Is the cause of death the necklace on her neck?
of course it is.
So it's not the multiple stab wounds to her chest?
No, well, we aren't really sure.
You're not...
Does she have any other significant wounds on her body?
Yes, she has scars on her forearms and she is eviscerated.
Eviscerated?
Wait. Well, this is all starting to sound scarily familiar.
I had never seen anything so horrible in my entire life. I'd only heard of horrors like this from the Ripper case in London. Oh my God. Were all the victims like this?
Yes, they were all found like this.
Okay.
Are all the organs accounted for?
I'm no doctor, Mr. McPherson. I have no idea.
In the other cases, were there missing organs?
Not that I'm aware of.
He's one... Huh. I actually hadn't thought about the similarities between this and Jack the Ripper until he pointed it out.
Who's the coroner?
Emil Corona. He works at the old chapel. He's very... well, I don't want to ruin the surprise.
The surprise...
Now it's your turn to share. Maybe you can tell me what you think happened.
I think you're right about the cause of death. That slash across the neck was definitely it. Stabbings to her chest were done before the final blow to the throat. The defensive stab wounds on her arms reinforced this theory. What's bothering me, though, is the lack of blood at the crime scene. This probably indicates that she was murdered somewhere else, not here.
Well, Mr. McPherson, I don't want to be rude, but...
You have work to do, of course. Thanks for sharing. It was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you, too.
I had a feeling that the cooperation between Skalnick and me had just ended. He was testing me for some reason. I was left to fend for myself.
He's testing. That's interesting. Wait, let's... Okay. I kinda like this. This is interesting. Our entire inventory changes. We don't have the same information. Okay, that's cool. I guess we're in chapter 2 now. Are you the coroner, or are you just a random cop?
Kazimir Stasek. He's been a good source of info on a couple of minor cases I had here in the city. Hello, my friend.
Ah, Mr. McPherson. And how are you this dark evening?
I can't complain. And how's my favorite boy in blue?
Besides my eye and this horrible murder, everything's fine.
I imagine you don't have anything more to give me?
This time I'm afraid I have nothing for you, my friend. Everyone is more or less at a loss.
You don't mind if I ask you a couple of questions anyway?
Of course not.
How'd you get the shiner?
Shiner?
Your black eye. How'd you get it?
Oh, I arrested a man last night, and for some reason my eye hit this man's very large fist.
Did you get sucker punched?
Well, a little. My partner didn't have time to warn me. Everything happened so fast. I was helping the woman, and I turned around to see if my partner was okay, and wham! Next thing I knew, I was flat-faced on the sidewalk.
And what did the man do to deserve your undivided attention?
He was harassing a young woman. So I asked him to stop, and then things got out of hand. The police are trying to find this animal. We're a little nervous when a man harasses a young woman these days.
That's understandable. How long has this been going on?
It started about 3 weeks ago. You didn't hear about it until now?
No, I wasn't in town. I just got back. I was working a case outside the city. Someone called me to see if I could come back and help.
Ah, the very beautiful Miss Ida Skalikova, I presume?
Good guess. She's worried for her friends. I told her I'd see what I could do. Can you tell me about your new boss?
Inspector Yuri Skalnik. He was given the case and got temporarily assigned to this district. He has a good reputation, but he doesn't share much information with us. He keeps to himself a lot.
What? He doesn't trust you?
Honestly, I don't know. Maybe he thinks we're incompetent or something.
Maybe. But he'd be stupid to think so.
Why, thank you, my friend.
Were all the victims' bodies dumped?
Yeah, I believe so. But then again, I don't have much information, as I said earlier.
Was there ever an eyewitness?
Nope, never.
That's what bothered me the most. How was the killer getting around the city without being seen? Well, I should leave you to your work, and I have to see my client. Thanks for your input.
You're welcome. Be careful.
Will do.
So, okay, A, this is definitely the same as the case we're doing in modern times, which is interesting, and I'll give them that. B, for us being in Prague, everyone sounds awfully American.
My Ida. The best gams in all of Eastern Europe. She's my angel and the love of my life. I met her on a small case I was working. She used to dance in the neighborhood cabaret. She was involved with the married man I was following. It was love at first sight. Hey, look at you all dolled up. Hi, sweetheart.
I don't like it when you call me that.
I didn't call you a doll. I said that you... Never mind, I'm sorry.
Good. Now have you talked to that useless inspector?
Yes, I have. And I didn't get much from the meeting.
Are you going to help us?
Of course I will. Was there really any doubt?
No, but you never know. When do you want to settle this, now or later?
No, I don't want money, Ida.
Nonsense, you will accept our money. How much do you charge?
Okay, listen. We'll settle this after the case, all right?
Do you promise? Because we'll feel insulted if you don't accept our money.
What was I supposed to do? Take money off these women? That's the last thing I wanted to do. Yes, I promise. I will charge you at the end of the case. Yeah, right. What was her name?
Who?
The victim's name?
Oh, her name was Frantiska.
Were you close to her?
Not as much as Milena, but yes, I knew her.
Did she ever talk about a regular client or someone special?
Not that I know of.
Do you think Milena can answer a few questions?
I guess. Let me ask her. Milena?
Yes?
This is my friend, the one I told you about. He's here to help us catch the man responsible. Do you think he can ask you some questions about Frantiska?
Okay.
I'll wait for you up the stairs, okay?
Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Hello, Milena. My name's Gus McPherson. I'm here to help stop this from ever happening again.
I thank you, sir. Not a lot of people would help women like us.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about Frantiska?
No, that's fine.
How long have you known Frantiska?
Well, I've known her for a long time. We met in the orphanage when we were just little girls. Her parents had died in a terrible accident. We became very close. We both left the orphanage never to return. We never liked the sisters. Ever since we left, we tried to survive on the streets, even changing cities. But we kept coming back here.
Did she ever talk about someone new or special?
No. It was not her style. Frantiska would rarely take new clients. She had regulars and enough to allow her to survive. She would only take complete strangers if she absolutely needed to. Apollina is more like that. She always has a new rich client.
Did she ever have a client that had been violent with her?
No. She only had clients she trusted.
How about you? Have you had any trouble with any of your clients?
No, I'm like Frantiska. I have only regular clients. If I'm on the streets, it's because I'm keeping my friends company.
Were you close to any of the other victims?
Well, there is one that was a common friend to Frantiska and me. Her name was Agnieszka. No one's found her. She just disappeared one day. We honestly don't know what happened to her. And I knew the others only on a professional level.
Did Agnieszka ever complain about any clients before she disappeared? Or did she ever talk about leaving?
Oh, we all talk about leaving. Who wants to live their life like this? But she never complained about anything. Agnieszka was like Apollina. She took on many clients. She left town a lot, but always came back with a broken heart. I hope she did find someone and left this place.
Where can I find this Apollina?
She usually works the park. Rare are the girls who are allowed to enter it. She's very protective of her territory. That's what she calls it, anyway. Frantiska and me were allowed in because Apollina knew we didn't take strangers and pretty much had our own regulars. Agnieszka was Apollina's good friend, so she was allowed too. So we all kept each other company in the park. Maybe Apollina knows where Agnieszka is. I don't know.
Well, thank you for answering my questions. It was a pleasure to meet you, even under these unfortunate circumstances.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, Mr. McPherson. I thank you for trying to help us.
Trying? I haven't even started yet. If I have any more questions, how may I contact you?
Usually in the park.
Again, thank you.
So basically, we have a bunch of dead prostitutes and the police force that couldn't give less of a shit.
Ida's an angel on Earth. She's the sweetest person I've ever met. I truly believe she doesn't have an angry bone in her body, even with the difficult childhood she had. A stepfather who molested her on a regular basis. Ida is always positive, and she's always willing to help the people who surround her. That's why she hired me to try and help. She has an undying optimism about life in general, and I love her for it. Hey.
How is she?
She's okay, I guess, under the circumstances.
I'll go talk to her after.
Tell me, where can I find Emil Corona?
Who's he?
He's the coroner working the case. I need to ask him a few questions. Skalnick said he worked in an old chapel. Do you know where it is?
Yes, I'll mark it on a map.
I don't need a map. Just tell me where it is.
What is it with men and directions? Take this map, it'll help you. I marked the location of the old chapel. It's not far from here.
Okay. Thanks, sweetheart. How have you been? I mean, are you feeling better?
Yes, a little. It's not as bad as when you left for your case.
Did you go see the doctor?
No.
Ida, go see him. It might be serious. I'm no doctor, but throwing up every day is not normal. Go see him.
Okay, I'll go see him. I don't throw up every day, you know. You always exaggerate.
Yes, okay. But go see him as soon as possible. Okay. I have to see this Corona. I want you to stay off the streets as much as possible. Never walk around alone.
Yes, I know you've told me 100 times. I am careful.
Okay, I'll ease up on you. You be careful.
I will. Now go.
Wow, I can't imagine what is wrong with her. But for now, I think that does it. We'll get started on our blast from the past case next time.